Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is our latest offering, What's Hot, a show where we discuss with you the latest buzz on the street. And we are going to be focusing on two very interesting aspects on the show today. One is, of course, the IPO space, where we are going to be seeing another listing of Tenneco Clean Air IPO. And apart from that, we are going to be focusing on the entire wedding economy boom that is supporting the GDP of the country, that's also leading to billions of jobs getting positively impacted, businesses getting positively impacted as well. And overall, there is an estimate of 6.5 lakh crore rupees of contribution coming in from the wedding season for the overall Indian economy as well. But first up, let's focus on the new listing today. Tenneco Clean Air IPO has got listed in the trading session today, and we have seen that the stock has got listed at 505 rupees. Remember, this is a strong debut that we have seen, a 27% premium over the IPO price for Tenneco Clean Air right now. Remember, this company is a part of the US-based Tenneco Group, and it's made a strong debut on D Street today, a 27% premium against the issue price of 397. Let's actually pull up some of the stocks there and see how this is actually moving up in trade. But 505, and that's how the stock has got listed at a very, very strong surge. And you actually see Tenneco now receiving a decent response after that 59 times subscription that the company had seen on the IPO. Very strong listing that we've seen for Tenneco today. Remember, the unlisted shares of Tenneco in the grey market premium had been hovering around 104 rupees on the day of the listing. We have seen a substantial uptick there, so we will keep an eye out on Tenneco Clean Air. But let's shift focus to the wedding economy, the clear focus on our What's Hot edition today. Remember, India's $75 billion wedding economy isn't just glitter. It's actually serious business. With over 4 million weddings that are expected to happen this season, the industry is actually set to inject billions into small and medium-term enterprises. Now remember, the Indian wedding season spanning from 1st of November all the way up to 14th of December 2025 is projected to see 6.5 lakh crore rupees of business, and that's according to a report from Confederation of All India Traders. Remember, this projected total represents actually a 10% increase from the previous comparable season as well, which had actually seen 48 lakh weddings and an expenditure of 5.9 lakh crore rupees as well. So there is an uptick of 10% in the overall growth that we are expecting this time around. This time, Kate has reported that estimated 46 lakh weddings will take place, but the spending will be much higher. Now remember, we also have our special guest joining in on the program to decode for us how to really understand what exactly is in the offing. Let's look at welcoming Amit Jaiswal, the CFO of Royal Orchid, who's going to be helping us understand how the hospitality business is doing within this economy. We also have Colin Shah now joining in on the program with us from Kama Jewels, and of course to help us understand how the gems and the jewelry business is also looking up at this point in time. Warm welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this conversation. Amit, to start off with you, one of the big chunks for wedding spends happens on bookings for hotels, banquet halls, and of course you are the one that is the center of a lot of MSMEs that are linked to the banquets and the hotels as well. You cater to an economy which is far spread out as well. Give us a sense of what has been the trend so far. You've already seen the first 20-25 days of the wedding season pan out. How has it picked up pace, and what kind of trends have you seen on a year-on-year basis too?
Thank you, Sakshi. So let me tell you, to start with, see what happened in Q2 of this financial year. The wedding dates were not there. There was no wedding dates in between July, August, September, and that's why this year, in comparison to all other years, the wedding season between November and December is very, very strong. Okay, a lot of weddings which used to happen in July, August have been postponed to November, December. That's why you're seeing a big surge in the wedding business as a whole in India. Secondly, the Q2 was very, a lot of places rains, this, that, and all had disturbed, which has now settled down, and that is why the weddings of even the summers we had a lot of disturbance because of Operation Sindoor and all. So a lot of weddings have got postponed to between November and December. That's why we are seeing a big surge now. Coming to the wedding market or the wedding business, we have to bifurcate it into different segments. Okay, one is the hotel room booking, then the hotel banquet booking, then comes the decor, then comes all audio visual and blah blah things, photography and all those pre-wedding shoots and all those. It's a big market in India today. Okay, so we are looking at in our hotels, most of the venues are chock-a-block. You are booked in advance, and so the numbers what is being thrown at to the market looks highly achievable. Maybe it may go beyond that also.
Okay, let me also bring in Colin here because a large part of the spending also happens on buying the wedding jewelry. Now, interesting aspects there for you to Colin to share with all our viewers. This year, we have seen substantial spike in gold, silver prices, and I want to understand from you. There has been, of course, we were noting down the footfalls were falling amidst the surge in the kind of prices that we were seeing, but eventually, just before the wedding season were to start, the prices started to stabilize as well. What has it done to the demand on ground for the wedding purchases particularly?
Okay, thanks, Sakshi. So, what has happened is we've had a bit of a roller coaster year, in terms
Yes.
of demand, especially. But due to all the geopolitical issues, what's happening, with the tariff war since Liberation Day, uncertainty globally, gold and silver prices have been in a bull run since a while now. And, they went up 35-40% this year. And it seems like gold is on its way to $5,000 in the next 12 to 18-month period. So, what is happening is that whenever there is a slight dip, the consumer holds on and feels that okay, there's a correction coming or something like that, and then they're holding on to their wedding purchase. So what we saw is in the run up to Diwali, as the prices went from $3,500 to $4,000 a troy ounce, there was a slight slowdown. So if you see Diwali, whether it's retailers across India, chain stores and independents, they saw a slight dip in their walk-ins. The volume which they sold last year was less, but they made it up in terms of value with a shift happening more towards coin, bullion, ETFs, their saving schemes. So there was a shift which happened towards that. But then, you already said, due to the huge spike in weddings, we had a record import of metal last month. Because now there's suddenly the consumer coming into the stores buying for their weddings. So even at now that they have, and the Indian consumer has always been extremely savvy when it comes to gold. I would say the last 40-50 years, last 3 generations, they've realized that now the prices have stabilized. Maybe there are small corrections, but nothing major. And the bull run is here to stay. So they're back to buying in the stores, especially for their weddings.
Okay, Amit, bringing you in as well, do help us understand when it comes to, the industries that are linked to you, the catering industries, the smaller vendors, the florists with you. How are they looking at the kind of demand that has sprung up, and what's the difference from last year around there? Is there an uptick in the prices, the realizations that they're also looking at here, the margins, have they also improved vis-a-vis last year?
See, Sakshi, I'll tell you one thing. See, wedding business, it's not only a hotel business,
Correct.
So there are a whole lot of people attached to it. Be it the cab drivers, there are a whole lot of industry which is attached to, as you said, florists. Everybody gains out of it. Now, let me tell you, wedding has, in India especially, is such that people can cut down anywhere and everywhere except the wedding. It is construed as a most important factor in anybody's life in India. Okay, so we have seen that when it comes to wedding, people go at least to their capacity, at least 10-15% ahead of their capacity, and try to do whatever best possible, irrespective of whatever the rates and whatever the market is doing. So this is the feeling. It's got little emotional attachment in the minds of all the Indians. So we see always when it comes to wedding, people go all out and do their best. And same thing, even the vendors and everybody wants to make hay when the things are going good. Okay, and so wedding market, I think I have been telling for last couple of years that wedding market in India it is at a nascent stage, and it's going to explode in times to come.
Okay, any kind of estimates that you are already drawing from the hospitality industry over the next 3 to 5 years? Where are we at, and what could we go to when it comes to, since you are saying that, we are still at a nascent stage and it could still have a lot of room going forward from here to grow?
See, I'll explain it to you, Sakshi, how it works. That in India, the Sawa dates we call it, which is around 70 to 75 dates in a year. Now, this is not going to change. So the entire market gets into these dates only across the calendar year. Now, if you go 15-20 years back, most of the weddings used to happen in houses, big houses, and then in a big jewellery and kind of thing. But in last 10 years, it is being shifting to hotels. Hotels and hotels. Nobody wants to do any activity in their houses. They want to do it in hotels because it's easier for them to, correlate. And then the event managers, the big event managers have come into the play, and they are making a big role. So this market is going to grow at least 20% year on year from now till, another 5 years.
Absolutely. Colin, let me bring you in here. Do help us understand what are the trends you are seeing in the offtake, in wedding related purchases, in gold, in silver, in diamonds. What's the kind of trend this year?
Polki is hot, so Polki is doing extremely well pan-India, especially for the wedding business. In plain gold, what is doing quite well is temple. So temple jewelry, antique jewelry, anything which goes well with the wedding lehenga is doing extremely well. In diamond jewelry, that's particularly popular for the Sangeet or the engagement function. So we continue to see an upsurge in, larger diamond sets where there is a greater spread. The brands are doing extremely well. The higher end luxury, especially because the wealthy, in the last few years due to the stock market going up, have really made serious wealth comparable to any billionaires globally. There is a huge demand for larger rare stones, emeralds, rubies, larger diamonds. So we're seeing actually all ends of the market doing quite well in 2025. And then you have all the new age entrepreneurs in lab grown. So that itself is also creating its own, demand across India. So
for engagement rings particularly, do you see a large demand for lab grown diamond solitaires?
See, again, it's not this or that, it's this and that. There is a customer who is wanting to buy lab grown engagement rings, and there is still a customer who wants to buy, the large. So you're seeing even 2 to 5 carats large natural diamonds, the pricing has actually gone up in the last 6 months. Okay. So that's a nice demand, I would say, even for the larger stones in natural. And of course, lab grown has also created its own niche because everyone wants a large solitaire as their engagement ring. So, based on affordability and the strata of society which you are in, there is a demand for both. But yes, engagement rings are here to stay. And though it wasn't a staple in India, like Mangal Sutra was always a staple. There's, every state in India has its own kind of jewelry which is gifted during the wedding. Now, engagement ring has become like a standard across India. So,
okay.
So we're
any average ticket spend that you could highlight, Colin, and then I'll move to Amit also to really find out the kind of pricing there has been. What is the average ticket spend that you're seeing at this point, Colin?
On engagement rings?
On all the jewelry, has it gone up from last year? Is there a visible trend there?
See, if you see most of the listed companies and you consider that the spike has obviously happened in weddings, but April to September, most of their results are showing a 20-25% growth over last year. So I would attribute that to say the rise in value also. Of course, the tonnage has come down, but if you see overall India as a I guess market, we'll more or less import the same number of tons that we did last year. So if in the end we import the same number of tons and the value went up, then the market grew in double digits, high double digits, which is very substantial for a country like us.
Okay, let me actually go across to Amit to also understand, what is the trend? What are the kind of sizes that people are looking at hosting weddings? Is there a shift there as well? Are people looking at larger gatherings? Because there was some kind of a shift post-COVID that people had started to have some smaller gatherings vis-a-vis spending more on maybe having luxury displays at the weddings as well. So how are you looking at that trend this season? Are people looking at large gatherings? Is it a volume-led show, or is it a very niche, luxury-focused show with premium clients? How are you looking at it?
See, first of all, actually, let me tell you, Indian weddings are of two categories. I can put it in two categories, two baskets. One is the extremely big fat Indian wedding, okay, and another is the upper middle class and the upper class wedding which happens in our hotels. The big fat wedding doesn't happen in our hotel. We are a mid-market segment. We are there, so those weddings happen in in Jaipur, ITC, and Oberoi's and Marriott's and all. So we cater to the mid-market or the mid-market segment. So any wedding in our hotels, whether it is Goa, Jaipur, and Bangalore and other places, it happens anywhere between 40 lakhs to 70 lakhs. This is the segment which we cater, like 100 rooms, then 4 parties, and that's it. Now let me explain to you what used to happen at the time of COVID. It was, of course, it was very close circuit weddings used to happen, but now things have changed. It's not happening now. If there are 4 parties in a wedding, be it Sangeet or Mehndi, Haldi, and then the wedding, so the other 3 parties, people are trying to do it in a closed circuit still, like 100 to 200 people. But when it comes to wedding or the reception, it's huge nowadays. People are calling everywhere across people and across the sector, and they are generally huge. It has come back to above normal pre-COVID, I will say.
Okay, got that. Let me also understand from you in terms of cities that you were marking. Traditionally, large part of big fat weddings, luxury weddings have taken place in Delhi, Mumbai, a few other metro hubs. What is the trend you are seeing now in Tier 1 vis-a-vis Tier 2 in terms of the wedding spends that are happening?
No. Even Tier 2 cities are doing very good as far as wedding is concerned. Be it Indore or any other city you see, wedding market India has expanded. The larger cities, those big fat weddings, which happens in numbers, you can number it off, happens there only. But as far as weddings are concerned, in all Tier 1, Tier 2, even Tier 3 cities, we are seeing a lot of big weddings happening.
Okay. Colin, let me bring you in here and give us a sense of when it comes to the kind of purchases that are happening outside of weddings season. I mean, are people preempting the prices, wanting to buy earlier, or are they now only looking at purchases closer to the wedding season? What exactly is the trend that's happening? Looking at the prices and how the volatility is shaping up gold and silver as well as diamond prices globally.
The trend, honestly, it's nothing different compared to any other year. Generally, in Indian households, wedding purchases is it starts from the girls or the bride's childhood. So they start saving on gold or money, and as the household income is lower, they actually start saving from a very young age. So it's usually 15-20 years of money savings which ultimately go into the wedding purchase. What is happening is that due to the gold rate going up, the exchange percentage which a retailer has significantly gone up. Say earlier it was 10-20% of the business. Now it's on an average 40-45% of anyone's business. So the exchange
Okay.
and the old gold coming back in
Yes.
exchange for new jewelry has
Yes.
gone up. But the savings
Okay.
start from a very young age. And the only purchase which is maybe happening outside of the wedding is fast fashion. So if you typically look at our business, it's maybe a 7.5, 8 lakh crore industry. And in the 8 lakh crore industry, 60% of the business is wedding and 40% is, fast fashion, anniversary, which is outside of the wedding occasion.
Fair point. Fair point. And since you did mark out the overall industry, which is somewhere around at 8 lakh crore rupees, what is the kind of projection that you are keeping, for the next 3 to 5 odd years, say by 2030, where will the industry be at, and what is the kind of share you're looking for jewelers such as yours there?
See, the industry, I think, will grow at 10 to 15% every year because, even if we say do the same amount of volume, the raw material prices are going up. So, that will lead to some amount of growth. Of course, the consumer will then come down in terms of grammage or caratage. 22 has become 18 and 18 will become 14 and 14 now has also become 9 carat. So, I guess the caratage and grammage will come down. But overall, the industry in value terms should continue to grow double digit over the next 2-3 years as our economy is doing well. And weddings are, like the mainstay. And we are a young population, a lot of weddings coming in the next 3-5 years. So the industry is very optimistic, and that's why you're seeing so much of private equity and VC interest also in our industry, which was not there say,
Absolutely.
10 years back. But now this whole interest is because of the huge consumption happening. The brands will get stronger. That's another play which is only going to get stronger as premiumization in our industry is increasing.
Fair point. Amit, to you, as hotels like yours are expanding your offerings to destination weddings, now more and more states are also pushing for wedding tourism as well. Vendors are also becoming more and more organized rather than in the unorganized market as well. And the industry is also growing at a steady pace, like you've already talked about too, and you are also hopeful of that. Help us understand what is going to be the share of destination weddings this season over the next 2 to 3 years, what exactly is happening there, and how are you looking at newer states, newer destinations developing as hotspots?
See, I'll tell you, there are a lot of destinations which are developing. Tomorrow I am attending a big wedding in Ayodhya, in a city like
Okay.
Ayodhya. I'm attending, tomorrow I'm flying down from Bangalore to my friend's son's wedding in Ayodhya.
Okay.
So all these cities have also developed into catering to the requirement of the weddings in each of the destination. So earlier we used to talk about destination wedding, only 2-3 used to come, like Jaipur we used to come, Goa used to come, and that's all. But now we are seeing everywhere, destination weddings are happening. Even a city like Puri is also arranging destination weddings in Puri, and hell a lot of places. Even in the hills, Mussoorie is full of destination wedding city like Mussoorie. So things are changing in India, and it's changing for good. Our economy is growing. So we are very hung-ho on this, that this segment of wedding segment will increase at least year on year 20% plus.
Okay, fantastic. I'll come for projections to both of you now. For this season, what is the estimate that you are drawing, Colin, for the gems and jewelry business, and how is it going to be growing vis-a-vis last year?
So we've April to September already had I would say 20-25% growth.
Okay.
And, I guess we should end the year at a 15-20% growth over last year. So
Okay.
it looks very positive and extremely bullish over the next 6 months.
Okay. Amit, to you as well. What are your projections for the hospitality sector as a whole, and for yourself also for the wedding business? What's the kind of growth you're penciling in this season vis-a-vis last year?
See, hospitality as a sector, the growth in this year is around 10%.
Okay.
But the wedding business has grown at least around 15%.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much to both of you for sharing these insights. I hope this season pans out to be a very strong one for both of you. And of course, by the end of the season also, we'll touch base and find out what exactly has happened and what's in the offing. Viewers, we'll wrap it up on that note on What's Hot. Thank you so much for being with us on the very program. But do stay tuned as market coverage will continue on the other side. Right now, you see the Nifty at 25,967. Meanwhile, the one or two stocks that you should definitely watch out for is the recently listed Grow. For the first time, Grow has now hit a 10% lower circuit as well. Remember, this is coming after 5 straight sessions of a remarkable move on Grow and prices of upwards of 188 odd that we had seen. The stock had also doubled nearly investors' money in the last 5 days of its debut. Now, today is the first day when you are seeing a 10% lower circuit on Grow at 169. We'll keep an eye out on that and speak to market experts. So stay tuned for that. And of course, for your questions that will be answered on daily calls, join me at 12 noon. From how the markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth-creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today.